Hi, third grade. My name is Victoria, and I work for a place called the Steelworks Museum. Here at the museum, we teach people about steel, how it's made, the people who made the steel, the place where it was made. Here in Pueblo, we have a very special place called a steel mill. And a mill is kind of like a factory where the steel would be made. For more than 100 years, this place was called the Colorado Fuel and Iron Company. We call it CF&I for short. And this place was very important to Pueblo's history because at the steel mill, it made steel that went all over Pueblo, all over Colorado, the American West, and eventually the steel products went all over the world. Not only do we teach people about history here, we also teach people about science because there's a lot of science that goes into making steel. So today, I'd like to tell you a little bit about a science concept, and we're going to learn about potential energy and kinetic energy. So let me share my screen here quickly so that you can follow along. So the first thing let's do is let's define energy. Energy is the ability to do work and cause change. There's lots of different types of energy. There's solar energy, energy that we get from the sun. There's energy that comes from water called hydro energy. Sometimes energy comes from the wind called wind energy, right? So there's lots of different types. And those types of energy can be classified as either potential energy or kinetic energy. So potential energy is stored energy that an object has because of its position or condition. So the other type of energy is kinetic energy. And this is energy that has an object, or I'm sorry, that the energy that an object has because of its motion. So what does this mean? Well, let me give you an example. So I'm going to tilt this camera down a little bit so that you can see. We have a spinning top here. We make these little spinning tops all the time at the museum for different programs that we do here. Potential energy, remember, is stored energy. So if I take my fingers here and I put them on this stick, the potential energy is if I just barely move my fingers, just barely twist them, do you think that this spinning top is going to go fast, or do you think it's going to go slow? What do you think? Let's try it out. Let's just barely twist my fingers here. Okay. But, so that would be potential energy. If I really put a lot of energy into twisting, if I put all of my fingers on this top, and I use not only my fingers, but also my wrist and my arm to twist this top, do you think it's going to go really slow or really fast? Let's try it out. Look at that. It went super fast, didn't it? Much faster than if I just used just my two fingers here. So the potential energy to make this spinning top go fast would be my fingers, my wrist, and my arm movement to make it go fast. And then to make it go slow, the potential energy would be just these two fingers here. And just barely use a little bit of energy, just a little bit. So kinetic energy is the energy that an object has because of its motion. So like I said before, if I use all my fingers and my wrist and my arm, that energy is transferred through my hand to the stick to this top to make it go really, really fast. And if we just use just a little bit of kinetic energy, just a little bit here, then the just a little bit of motion on my fingers will transfer to the stick to the top. So let's do another experiment, and we're going to make something called a foam flyer. So for this experiment, you're going to need a couple of pieces of equipment. First thing you're going to need is one of these tubes that you can get at the hardware store. You can buy this type of tube in the plumbing section. And what plumbers do with this is they use this foam to wrap around pipes in the wintertime to keep them from freezing. Now this, when you buy it, comes very, very long. It's like 8 feet long. We don't need that much. So just buy one piece, and then you can always cut it down into a section about 12 inches long. The rest of it you can use for other projects, or you can make a bunch of these foam flyers and share them with your friends. You're also going to need 2 of these cable ties. You can also buy these at the hardware store. They come in packs of 25, 50, or even 100. But again, we don't need that many, we just need 2. You're going to need a rubber band, just one, pair of scissors, and some strong tape. Now this is actually duct tape. It comes in many different colors. You can also buy this at the hardware store. The reason I say you need strong tape is if you use Scotch tape or if you use masking tape on this project, it doesn't really stick very well to this foam. But duct tape sticks very, very well to the foam. Okay, so let me tilt you down again, and you can see what I'm going to do. The first thing that you're going to do is take one of your cable ties, and you can see on the end here, there's a little tiny square, and in that square, there's a little tiny hole. Make sure that the square is pointing down. You're going to take your rubber band, and you're going to put it in the middle of your cable tie. Bend it up like a smile. Take the pointy end, and you're going to stick it in the hole of your cable tie. Then you're going to pull it tight. Just like that. Okay, so that the rubber band is down. Okay. Then you're going to take your tube, and you're going to put this cable tie with the rubber band, stick it inside. You're going to poke that end inside. Okay. Then with your other cable tie, you're going to, again, make sure that the end with the square is pointing down. Curve it up like a little smile. And you're going to put it around your end with the rubber band. Put the pokey end in the square, and you're going to pull this tight. Okay, like that. Make sure that the rubber band is still hanging out. Now, I would recommend that you even pull this even tighter. you're going to have to use a lot of energy from your muscles to do this. If you ask a grown-up, they might even help you use a pair of pliers like this. And if we put our pliers on this end here, like this, and we can even pull it even tighter. Now this is really what you want, so that the end looks like this, and this is as tight as it can go. Now, like I said, this is a foam flyer, which means it's going to fly through the air. If I was to take this and put this out here in the air, do you think that's safe? Neither do I. So use your scissors, and you're going to cut this end off. Okay. We definitely do not want somebody's eye to get poked out. That would not be a good day. Let me get a different pair of scissors here. Okay. I had to get some stronger scissors. Okay. Now this zip or the cable tie with the rubber band, as you can see, it's still able to kind of go in and out. So make sure to poke that end in. Now here's where you need your tape. I'm going to cut off a little piece. This, okay, little piece. And you're going to put it on the inside of your rubber band and cover the end of your foam opening. Okay, so you can see the end is still covered, but it still allows the rubber band to move. That way that cable tie will not fall out. Okay. Now, at this point, your foam flyer is almost done. But again, we still have a little tiny piece here that might be dangerous. So you can use more of your colorful tape. Put it around here. And you can also put it around the entire section here to decorate it and to make sure that it's safe. Let me show you, if you really want to go all out and really decorate your foam flyer, let me show you one that I made earlier today. You can see I just used that colorful tape just to decorate the entire thing. This foam flyer is now ready to go. So to launch your foam flyer, you're going to experiment with potential energy and kinetic energy. You're going to take your foam flyer, you're going to put it kind of here close to your head. Use your fingertip, just the tip, not the whole finger. Okay, don't do it like this. You're going to put your fingertip in the rubber band like this. You're going to pull your finger away from your body, okay? And then you're going to let it go. Okay? Now, some kids, when they're at the museum and they're making this, they go like that. Well, that doesn't really work very well. You want to make sure that your finger goes away from you, okay? And that your foam flyer is kind of like parallel with your shoulder, okay? Now again, experiment with potential energy and kinetic energy, just like with that top. If you use just a little bit of energy, is your foam flyer going to go very far? But if you really stretch it out and you use a lot of energy, how far is your foam flyer going to fly? So I want to thank you for joining me today, learning about kinetic energy and potential energy, and hope to see you at the museum sometime soon. Bye-bye.